The sayings were very short and brief. There's one that I never ever want you to forget, son. He said, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And I go by those rules because nacimos para morir, pero yo quiero morir como muere mi pueblo. I'm not bigger than anybody else.
That was my tocayo, Jose Roberto Pulido. It was a conversation we had back in late April. Unfortunately, it's taken me a while to edit the interview. I shot it myself, filmed it myself, but the conversation was incredible. We talked about his upbringing, working in the fields, getting an education, becoming an educator, becoming a Tejano star, and most importantly, becoming a father. So I hope you'll enjoy this conversation. Hey, this is Jose Arredondo, your tia's favorite reporter, and I'm here with your tia's favorite Tejano singer, a legend from Edinburgh, Texas, Mr. Roberto Pulido, Jose Roberto Pulido, my tocayo. It's a pleasure to meet you, man. I grew up on your music. I grew up on your son's music, so it's always good to honor the trailblazers, and you're definitely one of them. One thing that I asked your son a couple of days ago, and even a couple of weeks ago, he said he's the luckiest man in the world to have a father like you, and the fact that he gets to close this chapter of his life in music with you.
I tell you what, and it goes back both ways, okay? It's an honor for me to close my 60 years
Wow.
de la música, and I reflect back on my life and I've been blessed, okay?
Yeah.
Gracias a Dios, y gracias to the upbringing that my parents gave me. You know, I've been through so many hardships when I was younger. Got run over by a pickup truck. My mom was 8.5 months pregnant, and she ran and she found her stomach, and I had a brother that only lived for 7 days. Okay, all the root endings to your body go to your feet. I have nerve damage, and I have 60% hearing loss on both ears. If it was not for my hearing aids, forget it. And back then, I did not know how to speak English. Boy, bolas y bolas. After the fifth swap, I said, I ain't gonna say nothing no more. But they did not know I couldn't hear. You know, as a fourth grader, I studied lip reading, you know. And it's been a challenge and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know what? There's the Lord that watches everything. And I've been blessed because I reflect back on my life. I was a migrant that worked the fields in California. Aquí que se diga la sandía, la naranja, la toronja. Allá en California, la uva, el durazno, el ciruelo, you name it, I did it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when I graduated from high school, I told my dad, ya estoy harto de having to work the fields, que we're going to get money to buy clothes to go to school.
Yeah.
We buy the clothes and then we're in the same situation. He said, son, that's why you need an education. I said, I didn't have to go through all that and figure that one out. But back then, you had to work if you wanted to eat,
Yeah.
to put the food on the tables. And, you know, I got a 4-year scholarship there at the University of Texas. Well, now it's University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley. But back then it was Pan American University.
Yeah.
Years later, I started my own Roberto Pulido Music Scholarship Endowment. Any student that wants to go study music, listen to me, there's been available in Brownsville and also in McAllen for anybody that wants to go study music under my name and they needed a little bit of assistance. There's a bit available there under my name, okay?
That's incredible. That's major. That's a major accomplishment, especially considering back then where, you know, it was rare for a gente to get an like a college education.
I mean, you know what? You know what? For all the kids that are watching right now, education is something that nobody can ever take it away because you have it here.
Yeah.
Okay? And same token again, we got to pull the rest of the other ones because, like, our culture is very unique in the sense of okay, we have, even though that we have a river that divides Mexico and the United States, we're still the same people.
Yep.
A lot of the songs that we record and stuff like that son mexicanos. Son canciones mexicanas. And the bottom line is this. It's really important to know where your roots come from.
Yes.
I had a friend of mine, Eddie Pulido, ahí de, he's from Falfurrias. I was wondering whether we were related or not. He went all the way. He went all the way to Spain.
Oh,
And he
wow.
brought me back my family tree.
Uh-huh.
Pulidos originally, we were Italianos.
Oh, wow.
When the Moors and the Turks were at war, they came to Spain to avoid the war. In the mid-1600s, two Pulido brothers came on a boat and they landed in Veracruz. They were on the way to Peru.
Uh-huh.
They went on horseback. And I tell you what, man, I have a guacamole of last names. Cabeza de vaca. I mean, you name it. Regalado, Lopez, Salinas, you name it. But at the end of the day, you know what? You know what pulido means? Polished,
Wow.
okay? And I have my coat of arms and stuff like that. It has always amazed me, my roots, where they come from. Okay? Muy importante. Because in all reality, like my grandfather, Guerra, okay, he was güero, blue eyes, venía de Frontón. And my grandmother, she was from Cerralbo, Nuevo León. Man, I tell you what, fue un guacamole la fregada. At the end of the day, you know what? Now my wife, she's a direct descendant de Ponce de León, fountain of youth, on her grandmother's side. And she's also related to the first guy the king of Spain gave him land all the way from Zapata all the way just to close to Corpus Christi.
Wow.
Okay, de la Garza. De la Garza Falcón. I said, man, you have more blood than a Richard Pickaninny and you married a mutt like me, pero como quiera, you what? At the end of the day, carnal, you know what? You reflect back on your life, and I've been blessed, okay?
I know one thing that I love you always talk about is your admiration for your father and how he's always, it's those lessons you learned with him, and he's always with you. Even to this day. It is really beautiful the way you talk about him.
You know, originally in the barrio where I was raised, I'm the original Bobby, okay? He was born, he is a Primo, but I go back with my dad. He was my hero, he was my mentor. I remember way back in 1954, I used to go with him north of Edinburgh, un lugar que le llamaban LOL, pero los mexicanos era la hilera. That's where they had the braceros. And my dad used to go out there, primo, primo. Sepa, oye, tienes bastante primos. Digo, no, mijito. I address them as primos because I want them to feel like part of the family. Our raza has suffered so much discrimination from way back when. We need to take care of each other in order to progress. Because I still remember we don't serve Mexicans going all the way to California and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, con tiempo, you know what? The Lord is man, He's everywhere. And all you have to do is just ask. Ever since I made my first communion when I was 6 years old, I pray every night. No le hace que tan bueno, que tan malo sea la cosa. Along life, we make mistakes, and we have to learn from our mistakes and try to do the very best to pass that on to our kids, okay? Bobby, okay, when he was here in San Antonio, St. Mary's, well, he was studied political science.
Yep.
He's always
Had that passion, yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember, he talked about he was a shy kid.
Yeah, and you can imagine, I wanted to be a baseball player. Like that, nah. Tú para California, a trabajar. But I was the oldest of 6 brothers. I had no sisters, so nobody could call me cuñado. Anyway, but at the end of the day, you know what? I reflect back on my life, and I'll repeat it again. Gracias a Dios y gracias a la crianza que me dieron mis padres. My father, may he rest in peace, before he passed, he believed a lot in the sayings. Son, the sayings were very short and brief. There's one that I never ever want you to forget, son. He said, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And I go by those rules because nacimos para morir, pero yo quiero morir como muere mi pueblo. I'm not bigger than anybody else. The Lord gave everybody a gift. Some were born to be musicians, some to be policemen, teachers, what have you. That day, your job turns out to be work. It's time for you to retire because you have to enjoy what you do. You know, I've had a lot of experiences, but in the long run, I had my hardships, but that made a better person out of me. Okay. Again, I mean, my dad, man, he woke me one time. Okay, I remember he bought me a bicycle, and about 3 blocks away there was a canal, and I loved to go out there fishing. I was doing my homework. My dad and my mom took the kids. I don't know where the hell they went, but I was doing my homework, and my neighbor came. Hey, Roberto, they say que at night, you know what? The fish, mira, with bacon, man. I said, pues, chica, I was doing, pues vamos de volada, vamos de volada. And we had no fishing poles. Era nomás una vara de mezquite. We got there and like, boom, boom, boom. Boy, I tell you what, ahorita vengo, Esteban. I will check to see if I already got there. And half of the block era de piedra, the other was asphalt.
Yeah.
And I never saw my dad standing in la esquina. Era un de riel, una posta de riel. And I went around, but at the corner there was a light. And I went, tira todo para atrás, let's get back. My dad's already there. Y cuando llegué a la casa, le bajé, oye, mijo, ¿dónde andabas? Fui para la tienda a tomarme una soda con Esteban. Digo, no se oye nada. Que fui para la tienda, papá, a tomarme una soda con Esteban. Digo, ya me llevó la jodida y que se comienza a quitar el cinto. ¿Dónde andabas? Voy, andaba en la piscina. Digo, mira, digo algo que nunca se me va a olvidar. No te voy a fajear, pero que nunca se te olvide que yo soy tu mejor amigo. El día que tú te metas en problemas, yo te voy a sacar, no tus amigos. Así es que a mí nunca me han echado mentiras. Tell you what, he was my best friend. If I had anything that I had to talk to him, hey, yo le hablaba nomás lo que era la verdad. ¿Me entiendes? Porque decía, la mentira dura mientras que la verdad llega. Y llegando a la verdad, hoy van a salir cáscaras. You know what? But again, man, you know what? He was my best friend.
I know you just mentioned it. You wanted to be a baseball player, and
Let me just interrupt you. I got back from California in 1964, and my dad was working in a cotton gin in Sugarland. So he took me to the Astrodome. Man, he was so never realizing one day, 1990, I had the honor of
throwing the pitch.
the first pitch of an Astro New York Mets game.
And he got to see you.
And I threw a strike. I wanted my dad to be and my parents to be proud of me. Maintenance.
I love that picture. I seen the picture of you throwing the pitch.
Yeah.
It looked like you threw a strike too. That's some good.
And I was younger and better looking too. Okay? I mean, you get to the point where, you know, I mean, time, like I said a little while ago, todo por servir se acaba. And I tell a lot of the people that we're like the farmers, what you plant, you reap. You know? And we take it one day at a time. Pa adelante, pa adelante.
I know in your last album that you did, you have a beautiful song that you did where you're singing to Bobby, you're talking to Bobby. It's Cuida bien a tu mamá.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing y'all, Johnny Ramirez had played it on his podcast when y'all were on there, you know, a couple of weeks ago. And it was such a beautiful song, and it was just this beautiful, like...
We did a video.
Yeah, the video was beautiful. Y'all are, you know, hunting together, you know, y'all are...
My grandson, hijo de mi hija Alma, la misma cara de Bobby, toca la guitarra, canta igual que él. But I told him, I said, son, I'm going to tell you the first thing that my dad told me back then. When I was 15 years old, that I started con los hermanos Leighton as a sax player. Dijo, son, you get an education primero. You do this on the side. Because, again, education is something that's very important
Yeah.
for our kids, for the future generations, so they can carry the banner de lo que se trata la gente de nosotros.
I know you've had this storied career that you started out as an educator though, right? Out of college?
Yeah, I was supposed to be a band director, but they would not let me perform on the side. And I traded a job to teach elementary, a job as a band director, but pagaban $14,500 to a job that only paid $7,100
Wow.
a year. But it was a blessing because that's when they introduced the bilingual program. And I changed everything around. The next thing you know, I was lecturing to other teachers in Montana, California, here in Texas, because of what I did.
Yeah.
But it was a blessing, okay? And I started teaching for a year and a half, and I got sick, and I went to go see the doctor, and the doctor told me, Roberto, this is going to sound bad, but I'm going to tell you. You can't do number one and number two at the same time. You're going to have to decide one or the other. So I took my chances in la música. First 2 years, not even my mom bought a record, but get out. Rest is history. I took
Wow.
one song, and from there, boldly.
You have one of the most, because I know you started out in music with, saxophone, and then you eventually sang, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? The only reason I started singing is I got there into singing. Way back in 1971 when I was playing con los casinos de Cecilio Garza. The guy said, hey, Roberto, you can sing. And I started around con Eddie Pérez, un músico de del Valle, que andaba con los fabulosos y luego también con Snowball, by Rest in Peace también. And we used to go out there and jam in los naranjos, you know. And, I mean, I could keep on going, and so many people that I met that were very influential conmigo and stuff like that. And sometimes las amistades, I tell a lot of the people, los músicos, we're a family, you know? Well, it doesn't cost nothing to help somebody out. I like to critique, but it's constructive criticism,
Yeah.
nothing negative. I'm on the outside and I'm looking in to darle una idea and take it from there, man,
I know there's a generation of artists that you took on the road with you. You've Emilio, like just heavy hitters that you took on the road.
Mira, yeah, I did. Grupo Más,
Uh-huh,
La
Mas.
Mafia, Los Dos Gilbertos, La Sirena del Caribe, and I can Emilio Navaira. But they will tell me, Roberto, chato, te van a tumbar. No, it's not about that. The one that's more important is our culture. Para que siga adelante la cultura. And going back to Bobby, I never in my wildest dreams think he would get interested in la música because he was very shy.
Yeah.
Bien vergonzoso. Man, I never see him go up. Whoo.
Hey, he blames you, right? Because y'all sang Contigo.
Yeah, yeah.
And Contigo blew up.
But it was supposed to be just for me.
Uh-huh.
The song, I just wanted to have it como un recuerdo.
Uh-huh.
But at the end of the day, you know what? The Lord gave everybody a sixth sense. And you can tell. In Mexico, las cabras, they're considered, hey man, very bien, porque la leche y todo eso. Y en México se dice, luego se nota la cabra que da leche. That is one of them, okay? And again, I mean, like, gotta keep on going.
Yeah.
Una manera u otra. And I praise the Lord, the people that have continued, como quien dice, blessing me and the family cuando van a los bailes. And I'll tell you what, April the 23rd is going to be his birthday. Parece que fue ayer. 23rd or 25th?
25th.
Anyway, ¿ves? Ya se me paraban las caras. Ya se me paraban las caras. In other words, I have a tendency to forget some stuff here or there.
It's okay.
But I'll tell you what, especially when I owe money. Se me olvida todo el tiempo.
You know what's a funny joke? A little Joe told me was, he's like, Jose, people always ask me, Joe, you made all this money. What have you done with it? And Joe's like, I spent it on limousines, alcohol, drugs, and the rest of it, I wasted. And it's a little joke he says during his set.
I never in my wildest dream thought that one day I would share the stage with them and have comunicación con ellos.
You, him, Ruben Ramos,
Yeah, because I remember working the fields and listening to them
Las
perform.
Nubes.
Yeah, perform on the radio.
Yeah.
And Joe was
Our other tocayo, that's Jose.
so many, yeah.
Jose Maria.
Yo le digo Pepe.
Pepe. My coach calls me that.
Yeah,
My coach goes, Pepe, and everyone, why does he call you Pepe? I was like, it's another word for Jose.
Yeah, un sobrenombre.
Uh-huh.
In other words, at the end of the day, we're all alive. You know what? Yo me comunico con él once in a while. I mean, he lost his wife and his sisters y todo eso. But then again, we were born to die. Okay, we don't know when or where, but that's why I tell everybody that we're like the farmers. What you plant, you reap.
I really love, meeting Joe and becoming friends with him, meeting Sonny. I feel like y'all's generation, y'all understand the importance of paying it forward, and because the energy I get from Joe is the same energy I'm getting from you. It's just good energy. You have this beautiful outlook on life, and you just want things to continue pushing forward. And where do you think that comes from for y'all's generation? Because I just loved speaking with Joe, with Rene Ornales, like these older artists that y'all have lived many lives and gone through a lot, and you're still here.
Way back when it was totally different generation, a totally different world, and stuff like that. And then again, where they have my statue, there in Edinburgh, we honored all those people that paved the way.
I saw Agustin Ramirez's name on the star.
Yeah, Freddie Fender. Selena, como si fuera una hija mía, también. Johnny Canales, Laura Canales. I can keep on going, even músicos from Mexico. Los salí de Tejano, Los Doreños, he was my father-in-law. He's the one that composed la polka, El Sube y Baja.
Yes, Bobby was telling me about that.
Yes, and Lalo González, El Piporro. I remember Chulas Fronteras. Había una canción que he recorded a long time ago. Yo le digo a mis amigos, cuando vayan a las piscas, no se dejen engañar. Ahora tengo mis papeles dentro de la ley como whisky y la tequila. Hasta en medio del highway. He was a character and a half. When we honored him, ahí fue besides that, dijo, raza, tengo 82 años, digo, y me parto la madre con cualquier viejito de 90. But my suero got to do some movies with him también.
Wow.
I did some commercials con él when we were doing commercials for the Miller Lite, because I did commercials for Miller Lite, Bud Light, Coors Light. And then my wife tells me, why don't you do a commercial for Hajia milk, please? It's like, that's with your sister, it ain't no fun. But I have to give my wife a lot of credit, because she took care of my kids when I used to get the road for 3-4 months without coming home. She and my dad would take them una vez hasta Aurora, Illinois, otra vez.
Wow.
And Michigan también. And I mean, from the East Coast to the West Coast, y échale ganas.
Yeah, Bobby told me that she ran a tight ship, and
she'll get you ready for the army in a week. Por eso cuando Bobby dijo, Dad, why don't you just go ahead and retire? That way you can spend some more time with Bob. What? Los honeydews, what those days? They're not going to finish. But she's a good woman.
I know y'all celebrated 50 years a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, and Mother's Day, May 10th, we'll be celebrating. It's going to be 53 years.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing.
For her, for me.
No, it's awesome to just to see, after I spent 2 days with Bobby and seeing the good heart that he has and knowing that, the apple doesn't fall from the tree, that, he has his mom and he has you and just knowing that all the things, every time I speak about y'all to friends that I know who grew up in the Valley, oh, we loved them. Like they did so much with my high school. They've done so much in the community. And that's the first thing they talk about before they talk about y'all's amazing music.
You know,
To me, that's incredible.
I mean, you know what? It's I'll repeat what I said a little while ago. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Never burn bridges that you may have to cross the next day.
Yes.
All those sayings were okay for my dad because he believed a lot in sayings.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and my dad, con la pura vista, he could talk to me, and I wouldn't mess with him because he would get mad. Mira, cabrón. Tú serás el jefe, pero yo te voy a decir what you gotta do. Dad, dejes de ver la palabra jefe. Go for it, vámonos.
Yeah.
But again, it's something that's very important. And I wish that the new generation could follow those footsteps that we followed way back then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bien importante, and we just gotta keep on going.
Yeah. One thing that my tío, who's like my father, and he's the reason why I'm a news reporter, he always told me, "Mijo, learn from our mistakes."
Yep.
Right, and that was the main thing that he would always tell me. He would never tell me what to do, but he always tell me what not to do. Say, "Hey, Mijo, like I don't want you to fall on your face the way I did. You're gonna have your struggles." He's like, "But I want you to struggle less, work smarter, not harder." And so, it always stuck with me. And
That's the whole rule. You got to make mistakes. Just be sure you don't make them too often.
yes, yep, no, I agree 1,000%. You and Bobby, it's gonna be Bobby's last time performing in San Antonio, a place that is it's just one of the main vessels of Tejano music, Tejano culture. What has San Antonio meant to you?
I tell you what, I remember back then, cuando I first came to San Antonio a tocar, man, we got lost. We were perdidos. I mean, but at the end of the day, it you have to plant. You have to plant. In other words, it's not going to be an instant success nomás así. You have to work for what you want to accomplish. And again, I want to thank all the people de San Antonio y todos los rancheros y todos los pueblitos circunvecinos, okay? Because circunvecinos, because I want this tradition to continue going, even though I'm not going to be in the picture no more. But somebody else has got to pick up the banner and keep on going.
I feel like you're still gonna live on through us, right? Through us, where we're gonna speak about Roberto's contributions, Little Joe, Sonny, and even the generation after that, La Mafia Mas, because y'all. I love that you mentioned it earlier. We talked about how your dad would call people Primo, and I feel like all of y'all as musicians were like my tios and tias through the airwaves of música, and y'all were part of some of my best memories and some of my worst. Right, when times are down, you play that song and it would heal. I'll never forget. I told Bobby the other day when my mom died when I was 15, and so I'm 30 years old now, and so I've lived half my life without her. I'll never forget. It's a year after she had passed, and my sister's driving me home, and Desvelado comes on. And when I was a kid, I knew songs, but I didn't know the names of them. And I said, "Hey, who's this?" Mom would always play this song. She said, "That's Bobby Pulido. It's Desvelado." And I'll never forget it. And we're sitting in the car, and all the windows are down. She didn't have air conditioning in her car. And we're driving through the west side of San Antonio, and Desvelado's playing, and I just have like my head, on the window. And it was such a beautiful moment for me because it was like, wow, it helped heal my soul for that second, and it was a song that I heard on the radio.
To this day, there's been so many artists that have recorded esa canción. And so many artists that are out there that have told me que I'm the reason why they got into the music. Los hermanos Farías were some of them también. I consider todos mis compañeros de música as a family.
one thing that I earlier I went to one of the high schools in Edinburgh ISD, the one that's named after the Greek man. ¿Cómo se llama?
¿Tiene economías?
Uh,
The what? The high school?
the one right across the street from your casita.
Oh, Johnny Economidis used to be a fireman.
Yes, yes, the fireman that passed away.
Right.
Yes. So I was there, and as soon as I get there to the school, I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "I just have to leave Edinburgh, by 2 o'clock, or by 1:30, so I could get to San Antonio, because I'm gonna interview Roberto Pulido." They're like, "He lives across the street." I was like, "Really?" They're like, "Yeah." They're like, "He's awesome. His wife used to work here for a little bit." They're like, "We love their family," and so the reason why I was there was because of the Tejano music program, and it's the first of its kind in Texas, and you have these young kids.
Bobby started that Cora Fest.
Yes.
All the schools in the valley, they participate.
Uh-huh.
And man, they have some good musicians out there. I'll tell you what, some fifth graders de los Fresnos. Oh man. I mean, and that's where it starts,
What's it like to see that passion from these young kids who weren't even alive when your son was blew up in the music industry, let alone you. These kids that are like multiple generations away from you, but they love y'all's music. They want to learn it. They want to play it and continue the cultura, kind of like we've been mentioning this whole conversation. What's that like?
Well, I mean, it makes me, everybody, oh yeah, you've been in it to that Bobby Pulido. Oh yeah, he's my brother. Yeah, right. But we identify, sometimes I remember when Bobby was, really the song was composed for my youngest son, Marco Antonio, and Pequeñito, Pequeñito. And Bobby came out on the photo. He was 6 years old.
Wow.
When we did that recording, and to this day, people ask for Señorita Cantinera, Copa tras Copa, Mi Pequeñito, and now it keeps on going.
Yeah.
And of course, we know some other songs también, but you have to please the people. They're the ones that pay to hear you perform, and you have to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And we take it poco a poquito, one day at a time.
Yeah.
Jose Arredondo, I'll tell you what, man, I'm honored, and I thank you very much for inviting me to speak to el programa que tienes, ¿me entiendes?
Yeah.
And I hope it's educational, because it's really important también, okay?
Well, the honor's mine. The honor's mine, and I've watched a lot of your interviews, and I love hearing you speak. As much as I love hearing Bobby, you can tell where he got his wisdom and his passion for everything. I remember you mentioned, when he focuses on something, he goes all out for it. He puts his heart and soul into it, and we can tell with you, with your passion. And so I just want to thank you for everything you've done. I'm sure you know this already, but you're making your dad proud even to this day, and you're gonna, continue to make him proud even way after you're gone, because everything that you planted here, kind of like you mentioned earlier, everything that you planted, it's sowing and it's growing, and that's living on when we're all gone.
I expect the same thing for my grandkids, my grandkids también. Whatever they decide to do, hey, se les echa la bendición. And you gotta keep on going forward, okay?
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Roberto. Congratulations on an incredible career. Congratulations on all the work that you do in the community. Everything that you've done in the valley, we feel it up here in San Antonio, and it's beautiful.
Even though we're 225 miles away, we're the same family.
Yep. It's just we're a hop and a skip away. Once you see the palmas, I know I'm in Roberto Pulido.
Hey, you know what? That's what I remember. We were in Elsa.
Uh-huh.
And Benedictor, which I used to play way back in 1965, there was a girl there that she confessed something to me, and I'll tell her name in a little bit. But she was, Roberto, I remember seeing you perform in Dallas. And wow, that's what I wanted to do. And we moved from Dallas to the Valley, and I saw the palm trees. And you were the first person that came to my mind. Eli de Reina,
Wow.
que she's going to retire también.
Yeah, it's incredible. Right here. This is the tour.
Puerta Grande,
Por la Puerta Grande.
that's going to be not tan solo aquí in the United States, pero en México también.
In Mexico. What's that like to know that your son has performed in every state in Mexico? That's a huge accomplishment right there.
Of course. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be an honor for me because, like, I haven't played in Mexico City for the longest time.
Uh-huh.
And San Luis Potosí, Monterrey. Monterrey, Mexico. Nuevo León. Hijo de su, they love Tejano music.
Yeah.
They love Tejano music. And
Yeah.
it's where, remember what I said? We're like the farmers. You plant, you reap.
Yep.
You know. Raza, un fuerte abrazo de parte de su primo Roberto Pulido, ¿ok? Y luego también de aquí de parte del primo Arredondo también.
Mi tocayo. Thank you so much, Roberto.
Yes, sir.
Break a leg tomorrow. You're gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna be front row, listening to you, and good luck on the road with Bobby. This is something I've done a million times as musicians, but this one just feels very special, and I can't wait to be a part of that.
I got a call a little while ago from a guy that's from Pasco, Washington.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to be out there next week. But I'm glad we're going to fly. We ain't going to drive.
Oh.
I remember when I used to drive, forget it.
Hijo, no, hombre, shut up. No more. None of that. We're flying. Por la Puerta Grande Tour, Farewell Tour, Bobby Pulido featuring his father, the legendary Roberto Pulido. If you can't make the San Antonio show, there's plenty of shows across the country in Mexico. Just go to bobbypulido.com.